Is it ready?
Loading. And we are live.
All right. Get things started. Yeah. And then she is going around. But you still need to make sure you get it by the end of the meeting. And keep it the time if you arrive. All right, are there any amendments to the agenda for today? Alicia? Let's go, Eva.
Please strike back allocation.
Let's go, Evan.
Could we please add a discussion item about seismic student fee and make an article document?
Megan, let me know when you're ready.
That's you, precise question. I'll add the link in. But we can continue.
Okay, Bethany?
Can we start capital contingency?
Good. Sujan?
Can you please strike ASR, change that, and then this kind of thing. So,
Oh, okay. So then can we also add special presentation, see at the table initiative, SWC search?
I got the presentation, I'll add that in it as well.
Amazing. Megan?
I'd like to add a few appointments. I'd like to add Sheila Beatty for Campus Programs Committee. And I'd also like to add Megan Harmon for Campus. Sorry, I'm gonna repeat. I'll be adding Akila Betty for Campus Programs Committee and Megan Harmon for Campus Retention Committee. Then there's one more, I believe. And it is, oh, there's two more. It's David Ramirez for the UCSA non-voting member. And then also adding Stephen Michael Kenzo Price for the John Wooden Center Board of Governors appointment.
All right, can we have a motion to approve the agenda?
I move to approve the agenda for today.
Second.
Jonathan motions, Gabby seconds, all in favor, please raise your hands. Please lower your hands. All against, please raise your hands. All abstaining, please raise your hands. All right, we're voting 13 to 0, that is passed, so our agenda is approved for today. Okay, how everyone got a chance to review the minutes from our last meeting? Can I have a motion to approve those?
motion to approve the minutes from October 17th.
I second.
All right, Eva motion, Jonathan seconds, all in favor, please raise your hand. Please lower your hands. All against, please raise your hands. All abstaining, please raise your hands. Vote a vote of 13 to 0, that has, our minutes from last week are approved. Okay, so now we're gonna move into public comment, reminder of our community guidelines, challenge ideas not individuals, use gender inclusive and respectful language, freedom of speech, design, freedom from accountability. Each speaker will be given 2 minutes and the opportunity to speak once. Please do not use any dehumanizing language. And with that, we'll go ahead and start public comment at 7:12 p.m. Please raise your hand if you're here for public comment. I saw this first. See you, sorry. And please introduce yourselves when you get up to the microphone, so we can have it in our notes. Yeah. Good. Yes, we can lower it.
Sorry. Don't mess with it. Thank you. Okay. So can I start? So hello, my name is Ilan. I'm here to discuss specifically the Cultural Affairs Commission, specifically the Instagram account and their Instagram story. I'm going to start with just repeating the Cultural Affairs Commission's mission statement. The mission of the Cultural Affairs Commission is to put on quality programming with cultural, political, or social relevance that is accessible to all students. The commission is focused on edutainment, and then they go on to list what's allowed, what's not allowed. So I really want to emphasize a certain phrase in this mission statement, that social relevance that is accessible to all students. So since the breakout of the war during week 2, not a single piece of content on the Cultural Affairs Commission's Instagram has been about Jewish or Israeli gathering or mourning. Every single post has been made about one side of the war. I want to remind whoever runs the account that acknowledging the hurt and pain of one side does not negate the hurt and pain of the other. Both Palestinians and Israelis have lost family members and friends, and they both live in fear during this horrible war. The Cultural Affairs Commission has not created a safe space for Jewish and Israeli UCLA students. The following quotes have been featured on the CAC's Instagram story. They've said, "Zionist crocodile colonizing tears." This was posted 4 days after the attacks in Israel. Posts have been made telling people to go to teach-in and rallies that only represent one side of this conflict. They also made a post asking people to Venmo a random account and to not mention Palestine or Gaza in your Venmo, like cents. So I thought that was a bit interesting. All of the posts that have been made to this account should be promoting diversity for all students. Why wasn't a single post made about attending a Jewish vigil or about the Israeli side or about maybe talking about both sides of this conflict? The Cultural Affairs Commission has not created an inclusive space for Jewish and Israeli students. It is frustrating that I have to say this to such an educated group of people, but it is possible to create a welcoming place for people on both sides of this crisis, and USAC should take direct accountability for this.
Thank you. And then next I saw a hand over here.
Hi, I'm Jessica Sanders, and I'm an intern with CalPERD, the student advocacy group at UCLA, and I'm just going to give some updates about what we've been up to this week. So this week is our big pledge fundraising drive. CalPERD is funded by over 25,000 members statewide who pledge a $10 fee to their tuition each term. And this gives us political power, staff training, and resources that we use to win all of our campaigns. We also have a contract with UCLA that 10% of undergrad students are pledging members with CalPERD. So to do this, we are going to get 1,100 new pledging members at UCLA, which will put us well above that 10% threshold and build a ton of support for a 100% clean energy campaign. So far, in the past few days, we have signed up almost 400 new pledging members and one-on-one conversations about the environment and climate change. And it's super exciting to see just how many students here on campus really care about this issue and want to see renewable energy on campus. So yeah, that's what we've been up to. Thanks for listening.
Thank you. Others for public comment? Oh.
Really tall guys, it's sorry.
Hello, my name is Ellie Cohen, and I'm the Vice President of Hillel, the largest Jewish organization on campus. I also run Bruins B'Yachad, our progressive Jewish organization. So I am here specifically to respond to a comment made last week at the last USAC meeting stating that, and I quote, Hillel has ramped up their security for protection, but protection from what? Frankly, I'm scared that a violent org like Hillel has armed security in the first place, end quote. If you think security in synagogues is new, you have no right to be speaking about Jewish experiences in this country. It is important to note that the targeting of religious spaces is not unique to the Jewish community, but here are some of my experiences that affected my family, my life, and the spaces I inhabit. In 2018, my grandmother's childhood synagogue in Pittsburgh was attacked by a gunman who killed 11 congregants. In 2021, the synagogue where I went to preschool was lit on fire by a college student at Texas State University in 2021. This February, 5 miles away from where we stand right now, 2 Jewish men were shot leaving a synagogue. And at my current place of worship, UCLA Hillel, we received bomb threats, harassing emails, and credible threats of attack. Hillel has increased security and armed security because we know that the events in Israel, 7,500 miles away, have the potential to bring the hatred and violence already brewing in this country to our Westwood synagogue. In recent years, Jews have been physically attacked in Los Angeles and campuses throughout the state as some type of retaliation for political views. When non-Jewish people on this campus redefine what anti-Semitism is and what it isn't, as many statements written and reposted by those people on this campus have, we all lose sight of the real deaths and real destruction caused by Jew hatred. We don't talk about anti-Semitism to win political arguments. We do it because it's actively harming the people we love. So this definition of anti-Semitism, of the continued violence against the Jewish community, does not align with your understanding or perception of the Jewish experiences. We encourage you to come to Hello. We're making space this Thursday from 11:30 to 1 and lunchtime in our building, in our kosher dining hall, to talk about these experiences. We'll buy you lunch and make space to learn with you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for the meaningful speech, Ellie. Hi, everyone. I'm Bella Brannon, and I'm the president of Hillel at UCLA, which is our pluralistic Jewish community on campus. Firstly, I want to acknowledge the pain that Jewish, Muslim, Israeli, and Palestinian students are feeling because of the violence and lives lost in the Middle East. I'm also here to correct the public comment that was made last week by someone identifying as Angelica that was not appropriately condemned. Angelica commented that Hillel is a violent organization. This framing that our community is violent for having security on what was deemed a global day of jihad, a call for violence against Jews, is absurd and downright dangerous. Violent incidents of anti-Semitism in the US are at an all-time high, with anti-Semitic incidents making up more than half of religiously motivated hate crimes. Our community must spend millions of dollars and millions of hours ensuring the safety of Jewish people in schools and places of worship. Suggesting that such security measures are violent echoes of an ancient anti-Semitic libel that seeks to strip us of our safety. We are aware and completely aware that we aren't the only group facing hate, and we consistently condemn all form of violence on campus, which we emphasize in the recent social media statement. Hillel is a diverse Jewish community representing the full range of religious observance of all backgrounds, from Sephardic, Mizrahi, Persian, Ashkenazi, Eastern European, Jews of color, LGBT Jews, and many more. We function as a synagogue, a community center, and even a kosher dining hall, which is amazing. Is not all the food, no food on the Hill is kosher. Over these past weeks, many students have come to Hillel to pray for their lost loved ones, pray for peace in Palestine and Gaza, breathe, talk, and to give and receive comfort. Part of why we need Hillel is for our Jewish students to have a safe and secure place. To that point, I want to re-extend the invitation for all of you to join us at Hillel to learn about our community from 11:30 to 1 on Thursday. I want to directly extend an invitation to you, Alicia. You were elected to represent the beautiful, diverse cultures we have here at UCLA, but have exhibit a fundamental misunderstanding and misrepresentation of our Jewish culture and community. Love to share space with you, and I'll share my grandfather's kosher cheesecake recipe.
Anyone else have a public comment? Yes.
Hi, everyone. My name is Brendan Bortson. I'm the vice chair of the Student Fee Advisory Committee. I just wanted to come here and share what we've been doing. So one of our goals for this year is to increase transparency and work more with USAC. So first, I want to just say, for anyone who doesn't know what USAC is, we oversee or advise the chancellor of the dispersion of nearly $50 million in student service fees. This week, our main project was we were asked to provide support for the extension of the seismic fee, which I know is a point of discussion for today. We did conditionally support this extension because buildings like Sunset are currently ranked 7 out of 7 on seismic safety reports, which we typically agree that the building should be usable. That seemed like a good thing. But under the requirements that they come back and report the projected costs for the projects and timeline for completion, and that they consult us before any further extensions or increase to the fees made. So I hope that was a reasonable solution. I also wanted to come to ask some questions to particularly the IVP and the president, just about what they expect from SVAC this year. I know that there's typically been a lapse of communication there, so I wanted to try and improve it as much as possible. Firstly, SVAC currently has 2 undergraduate positions. This is pretty problematic as we struggle frequently to reach quorum, and also our ability to have subcommittees is limited by not having as many undergraduates, because as per our bylaws, they require at least 1 undergraduate student. So this increases the workload on the 2, which is myself. So I wanted to see if there's a status on the 2 open positions and whether it would be possible for USAC to openly advertise it, or if it would be okay for SBAC to advertise its open positions on our website. Secondly, and generally, is there any expectations for the student fee dispersion this year, and any priorities that would either of you would be fit to share? Thank you.
What I'll mention is I believe one of those SBAC appointments should be invented by our TSR, but I see no problem with you advertising it on your website. Another thing is that there's a lot of miscommunication with SBAC in general, and I forgot we had a conversation about there being another open appointment. So my team, I guess, will get on that as one remaining, but I can't speak for that other. As for additional problems to focus on, I believe that question, your email was a bit broad because I can talk about problems that have been happening brought to our council meeting. I can talk to problems of placing the dining hall. I can talk to problems about literally every sector of campus. So if you can kind of narrow your scope in that question, I'd be able to assist a bit more with helping you in that regard. Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming. I know we talked about this over email, about SBAC coming to public comment to talk about like updates every maybe like bi-weekly. For expectations, I think this is a really good start of like keeping us updated, for the status of SBAC undergraduate committee members. I know, there's always been miscommunication about this, specific appointment since our, bylaws currently state that there are only 3 undergraduate appointments. But I was recently told that there was supposed to be 4 for, overlapping terms, since they are 2-year terms. So, we will be working on appointing another one, possibly underneath the president's office, maybe 3 presidential appointments, 1 transfer student representative appointment, and then updating that in our bylaws. Please do advertise that on your website, and then we will work on advertising that as well through USAC channels.
Thank you. All right, is there anyone for public comment on Zoom?
There's one.
Eliana, go ahead.
Oh, sorry.
Thank you. So while most of y'all have been awesome, special shout out to Naomi, Tyra, Chia, Sarah, and Gabby, just because I happen to have seen y'all in action recently, and it's been wonderful. But I do want to talk a bit about the climate for Jewish students on campus. So as y'all should know, 1,400 other people were murdered in astonishingly brutal ways, the kind of things I can barely even talk about here, because just to talk about it would bring trauma to people here, and people are still kidnapped and still are hostages, and Israel is still under attack. So some of the stuff I've seen on campus, like the fact that having, for instance, the National SJP has been saying that these events were good, should be celebrated. The people who did them have a right to do that. And that's that kind of thing. I think, like, when we have groups like that, we need to be like, okay, this is over the line. Like, there should just be an agreement among all of us that whatever our politics, our groups that push such an agenda should, like, that's just not legitimate. That's not acceptable. And it's been very painful seeing that some people are either unaware or actively choosing to just promote murder of Israelis, as well as anyone who's supporting Hamas is also implicitly supporting their agenda of murdering Jews around the world, which they have announced. So I guess just asking everyone, please try and show compassion for all the innocent people who are suffering and do some research so you don't accidentally support organizations that are evil. Thank you.
All right, anyone else here for public comment? Okay, with that, I'm closing public comment at 7:27. Okay, so now we'll be moving forward with funding. We're on the wrong agenda. Sorry. So now with the got chicken, so it's just contingency programming? Okay. And, okay.
This week, we had to look at the program list of $42,059. And recommended an allocation, and recommended an allocation of $50,562 for 31 non-representative and one staff. Having it in.
Okay, hopefully we're able to review our ongoing spreadsheet that lists out where it's going to. And then I will just need a motion for probably from someone already on Zoom, so they can read off the numbers.
I motion to approve the contingency programming request, allocation of $15,562 for 31 non-USAC entities and one USAC entity.
Have a second?
Second.
All right, making motions, Gabby seconds, all in favor, please raise your hand. Please lower your hands. All against, please raise your hands. All abstaining, please raise your hands. Well, vote of 13-0, that is approved. Thank you. So now moving to SFS, SFS allocations. Chi?
Hi, everyone. So for SFS, we had a total requested amount of 10,721 and a recommended total allocation of 4,308 with 5 applicants approved, 2 CSC affiliated and 3 non-CSC affiliated.
Any opposition? That's approved. Thank you. Okay, SWC programming, Janice?
Yeah, sorry, can you guys hear me? Hello?
We can hear you.
Oh, okay, great. This week the SWC Programming Fund received $0 from USAC entities and request $1,185 from 3 non-USAC entities, and we recommend an allocation of $1,185 for the 3 non-USAC entities. And I will put that in the chat.
Thank you, that'd be great. And same for previous allocations too. Is there any opposition there? Okay, that's approved. Thank you. Okay, now moving to TGIF, Evan.
Hi, y'all. The Green Initiative Fund Committee allocated $1,153.47 to 2 non-USAC entities and 1 USAC entity.
Sounds good. And just make sure if you're able to put that in the comments, that'd be great.
When my black bones.
Okay, so now we're gonna move into our special presentation. So we have the Seat at the Table initiative, and we have our first club being SWC Search. So the Seat at the Table initiative, just real quick, was introduced by Naomi Riley, I believe. And it basically was a chance for more clubs to come in and talk to USAC about some things that they do. We'll also be able to kind of ask questions and how we can better support them as organizations. So my office will definitely be trying to bring in a few clubs throughout the quarters. Awesome. Okay, with that, I'll go ahead and invite you up, and then we'll actually do the presentation. This on this one, or? Megan, would you be able to drop the link into the chat?
Yes. When my laptop is not explodable.
For sure. Just give me a second. You want me to go through that one?
Hi, everyone. Very nice to meet you all. I'm Desiree. I'm one of the co-directors of SWC Search. Search stands for Student Education and Research of Contemporary Health. We are a committee under USAC Student Wellness Commission, and we're just going to give a brief presentation about our organization, why you should join, and that we hope to see you soon.
Does the next one? Yeah, as it's in the name, we target contemporary health across campus, and that includes conducting events. We have blog posts and we have research that target social health, fall quarter, mental health in the winter quarter, and physical health in the spring.
So because we have like these three different facets that we focus on when it comes to health and wellness among students, we have like a great structure to our organization. We have our internal board, which kind of helps organize everything, pretty straightforward. But what makes us unique is that aside from our general committees, which we'll be explaining in the following slides, we also have research committees. And we currently have 3 research committees, which we'll also be explaining briefly. The event evaluation program, which is most integrated in regards to the Student Wellness Commission in terms of that we are the facet of accountability and evaluation and assessment for student wellness health events, excuse me. And we also have an imposter syndrome research committee, a sexual health and reproductive health literacy committee. And yeah, that's just like an overview.
Yeah, so one of the committees that we have is the events committee. Yeah, so I guess we conduct events on campus. We do it in collaboration with other Student Wellness Commission committees, or just cultural arts, and maybe even some clubs that are in the Student Health Network. Yeah, as I said earlier, we do it on social health in the fall quarter, mental health in the winter, and physical health in the spring. Yeah, so we have 4 subcommittees under it. As you can see, outreach, which coordinates with other orgs, the other orgs that I mentioned earlier. Programming, which is more like a logistics, booking venues, coordinating stuff like that. We also do have a logistics director that also will help with that this year. And safety, that is, if you have a big event or whether if there's a specific apparatus that you have that may need safe handling. And then we have education. Yeah, so this is like one of the content-based education part of search. This could be informed by some of the research that we do. As Desiree mentioned earlier about the research committees, are just generally very important health issues on campus that we want to address. Finance is the last one, and this is managing the budget, like especially we have a specific budget for each of the quarters, so getting speakers, how much we spend on snacks, food, drinks, etc., and how much we give as prizes and stuff like that. Sponsorships and catering. And we also have a finance director that kind of handles some of this.
I think a really important thing to just briefly touch upon, thank you so much, about our events committee is that we also integrate a lot of our research into our events and why the events we do, specifically
usually hold an annual We Regret to Inform You event where we get to see failure CVs. It's really inspiring to see just how much the very distinguished people part of the UCLA campus had their own setbacks. So I'll just go on to marketing. Marketing, just a very simple committee. I think it's really lax. We're just basically promoting our events, blog posts, etc. Please feel free to check out our Instagram with more information about Surge.
Oh, yeah, next one is blog post committee. We have every week we have a director for blog posts who usually has a special has a team, and we produce blogs every quarter, and it's again the same themes for it. Depends on the theme of the quarter, what type of blog posts we have. But every single week, we have different blog posts on our website and on Instagram, etc. It's pretty straightforward. And each of our members take turns making a blog post.
So here's your cue to please check out our most recent blog post just so you can get a sense for what like Surge can do. Every member, again, as Gaurav said, does do blog posts. Now I'll just go over our next research committee, but with a special announcement that we were recently published in the Journal of American College of Health. So a lot of our research committees are personally planning to be writing or in the middle of writing manuscripts for publication outside of undergraduate level research publications. So it's very exciting. This is on the caliber of other professionals outside of the undergraduate scope. So I highly encourage those of you who are interested in what we do and what it would be like to conduct research as a part of a student organization rather than a typical lab, to please check out this article. And you can also find links to that on our social media as well. The QR code is not something you can use right
now. So our first research committee is the Event Evaluation Program Research Committee. And this is more of evaluating events kind of research and trying to make Student Wellness Commission events better in terms of targeting targeting the necessary health aspects that they plan to target. And so it's more of so we just go to each event. We usually do survey-based research. So we give surveys to usually all the members of the event to evaluate the event. There's a Google form that they kind of answer several questions for, and then once they do that, they're entered into a raffle, and then at the end of the year they get a chance to win a prize. So we've done this for a couple of years, I think since 2019, and we're mentored by Dr. Bernie Cowgill from the Department of Public Health, and the members receive SRP 99 credit. So at the end of the year, we do the poster presentations. Last year, we presented the Health Literacy Research Conference, and there are other poster presentations at the end of the year, like the Seminole HCI poster presentation and Undergraduate Research Week.
Perfect. So I'm not going to rehash the benefits. Nearly all of our research committees do offer, all of them do offer SRP 99 credit presentations at Undergraduate Research Week, and it's official that all of our committees are currently in the process of planning to or are in the middle of writing articles to hopefully be submitted for publication outside of UCLA, get our research out there. The Imposter Syndrome Research Committee is really important to us because it does deal with mental health, and we're trying to explore new ways about how campus could possibly change to better serve students with mental health issues. So I think it's very straightforward what we're doing. We do aside from surveying, our research also does involve focus groups, which is pretty interesting. You're gonna learn how to code for manuscripts. If you can maybe change the slide so I can briefly go over our sexual reproductive health literacy research committee. Since similarly, aside from just surveying, we also do qualitative data analysis aside from just quasi-integral. Very interesting stuff. We do tend to hire statisticians, though we do often train you on the job how to code in the way that we want you to code, how to do data analysis, how to collect data, and how to interpret these results. So it's very important. Again, this also does offer SRP 99 credit. That's pass no pass research credit. So it's very interesting, a great opportunity. We do welcome those who are completely inexperienced in research, or those who actually do have some experience that you kind of want to get your foot into like a few different research pools at a time. Because as I said, all these research committees do have their own individual faculty mentor, which makes you have a lot of opportunities to have a close-knit bond with this mentor, because our organization is quite small, that each research organization within Surge is under 10 members. So I highly recommend that we just move on along to our general member requirement.
Yeah, so, yeah, this, yeah, so we do have, just so that we, have people who are always there for like, research committee meetings, or just, things like events and marketing and stuff like that. We usually try to minimize, have a policy to minimize absences, obviously 3, as it said on the slides. Yeah, and to incentivize participation, and to, and to also create like a kind of network even within the organization. We have events, socials, yeah, and then, as I mentioned earlier, 1 blog post for each member a year is usually what we like. It's a super low commitment, so definitely, and you have so many opportunities to make friends and also make a change. And so you should definitely join.
Yeah, thank you so much. We meet Mondays 7 to 8 p.m. weekly, so if that seems like a time that's good for you, I highly recommend you check us out. Feel free to reach out with any questions. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you. All right, cool. Did love to hear about that, and I'd love to be seeing more clubs throughout the quarters. As someone that did research in reproductive health literacy, I thought that was an amazing aspect and such a great opportunity for undergraduates to earn, additional credit as well with the SRP 99. So yeah, great job. Thank you. Okay, now moving forward with our appointments. Yay! Okay, so quick rundown for appointments. It starts with the 1-minute introductory statement from our candidates, goes into a brief question answer period for our questions from council members to the applicant. Then it goes to our 1-minute closing statement from the applicant. Then we hear our recommendations and review deliberation notes. We're the ones that need to be voted on. Then our consent. Question mark? Maybe not. I don't think so anymore. Okay, besides that, we'll go ahead and start with our first candidate for campus programs committee, Akila. And go ahead with your 1-minute opening statement whenever you're ready.
Hello, my name is Akila Bailey. I'm a 3rd year of my biology major here at UCLA. And I'm running for a campus program committee where I'll take part in distributing funds to the cultural programs on campus. I'm interested in this because I'm involved in many clubs on campus, including cultural programs such as ISA, the American Cancer Society, and Melanin Medicine. And I know that receiving funding for some of the cultural awards last year was a bit difficult. Additionally, I used to work as a student programmer for the BBRC, so I'm already kind of familiar with reading budgets and expenditure reports. And I want to make sure that our orgs are receiving equitable funding, like based on the access to resources that they have.
Thank you. Okay, so questions from council members. Sujata. Right there.
It's totally not. Anyways, you mentioned that you were a student programmer for the USAC and that was like a major funding priority for a few council members themselves. So I guess I just asked if that experience in the USAC and how the funding would be improved. Thank you. For a lot of the USC programs that I held, it came out of the BRC's budget, but like when we didn't have enough, we did have to go to USAC. But maybe repeat a question like related to. Yeah, no, just kind of like in your experience in that certain position, what challenges you came across in this position? I feel like it wasn't fully like known to us how soon we needed to have the funding or like the report by to USAC. So sometimes we didn't get it in time and we had to like do it out of pocket and then we got it from USAC. So that was kind of an issue. But I feel like having more like accessibility and like knowing how, like the distance between those, like when you need the report, make it better.
Thank you. Jean? No, go Gabby.
Hi, thank you for coming. So I'm gonna ask a question that Sarah, who's not here today, always asks, which is that we have a lot of funding applications and a lot of the times like a lot more will be requested than amount of funds available. So what would you look out for or what would you prioritize when you're reviewing those applications?
I feel like I prioritize the clubs that don't have access to like outside resources. Like if that's the only source of funding they have is like through USAC. I prioritize those versus the ones that might have like maybe a donor per se or like they fund this more, they have a larger like a budget kind of thing. Yeah.
Thank you. Gabby?
Hi, thank you so much for coming today. I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about why you specifically want to be on the campus programs committee.
I'd like to be on the campus program committee, partly mostly because last year in ESA, I had to host some events and we didn't always get like approved from USAC like to get the money, and that was kind of difficult. So I kind of want like to have a better view like where the money is going in USAC and like making sure it's being allocated equitably to clubs.
Amazing. Okay. I think that'll be it. Okay, so let's go ahead and move your 1 minute closing statement and then we'll hear from Art.
With my closing statement, or sorry. My main priority is like just making sure that the funding is going like it's equitable, like so the clubs that need it the most are getting the funding, along with just providing knowledge to clubs, like so that they might not necessarily know how to navigate the funding from USAC. So just making that like more transparent and more accessible to clubs. Thank you.
Amazing, thank you. Okay, so now let's hear from Art.
The appointment review committee voted a 3-0 on Aquila. And right. Sorry.
Aquila, yeah.
Is that her pronunciation? Oh no, it's okay. And our statement reads, Art is more than happy to endorse Aquila for the campus programs committee. She showcases a lot of passion for supporting student organizations and recognizes the troubles that student orgs go through to get funding. So with a 3-0 vote, Art would like to recommend her for the campus programs committee.
Amazing. Deliberation time, any comments, concerns? I'll just say something really great. Aquila works in my general 2 office, was very diligent in her work, so I really think this would be an amazing position for her. Also with past experience working at the BRC and we're being an ESA board member as well. I think she has the leadership and the skills to definitely take this on and work with the other efforts that we have made to the campus programs committee. So I hope we vote yes. Amazing. Okay, so with that, can I have a motion? Jonathan?
Motion to vote Aquila B for campus programs committee. Let me make sure I got that.
For a 1 year.
For a 1 year.
Have a second?
A second.
Okay, Jonathan motion, 80 seconds, all in favor, please say yeah. Okay, please lower your hands. All against, please raise your hands. All abstain, please raise your hands. Okay, with a 12-0 vote, you are approved. Amazing, thank you. Okay, next one is a consent item. So we have UCSA non-voting member. Is there an art statement for this one?
Sure.
Oh. She said, let me make it on the fly. Okay, go.
Are voted in 3-0-0. This is UCSA, right?
Yeah,
So David voted 3-0-0 for David Ramirez with UCSA non-voting member position. David demonstrates great experience, having been in this role for a few months already. His experience working with the UCSA and EVP office makes him a highly qualified candidate. With this said, I would like to recommend David with a 3-0-0 vote.
amazing. Any opposition? All right, congrats to David, for being your UCSA non-voting member. Okay, we have campus retention committee, Megan, which I think was on Zoom, right?
She should be on the Zoom. She's not available to come in person.
Okay. And go ahead with your introduction whenever you're ready.
Okay, hi, can everyone hear me okay?
Yep.
Okay, my name is Megan Harmon. I am a second-year transferring from SMC. I'm majoring in English, minoring in African American Studies, and I'm applying to serve on the Campus Retention Committee. I believe I would be a good fit for this position because of the knowledge that I have regarding retention rates, as well as my own personal passions for increasing student support on campus. Additionally, I am extremely determined to serve students from marginalized communities, and I have experience serving these communities already. I believe that students have a right to have a voice in the support that they want and they need. So I'd always welcome student feedback through surveys, open Zoom meetings, and I would promote transparency from the CRC. As the Director of Diversity and Inclusion for the TSR, I have connections to various organizations, departments, and resources on campus. So I'd certainly utilize these connections in my work to build unity, collaboration, and increase student support on campus. Through my work for the CRC, I would like to implement an increase of equitable support specifically for student retention to improve retention rates and graduation rates. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, any questions from council members? Alicia?
Hi, thank you for coming, Megan. I have a question. Do you have any vision, like a vision or any goals for the campus retention committee, for this upcoming school year?
Yes, I do. So recently I did some research on the retention rates from the UCLA Academic Planning and Budget website, which was last updated 2 weeks ago. And I discovered that over 200 transfer students specifically did not return to UCLA or graduate from UCLA from fall 2019 and fall 2021. For the fall 2020 cohort, over 300 transfer students did not return or graduate. So I would like to kind of figure out a way to close these gaps. And in doing so, some things I have in mind would be like collaborating with financial wellness, do class visits, tabling on Bruin Walk, even social events. So that students who don't know about these resources can get connected to resources. And I would also like to implement more retention programs on campus for our mother orgs and even organizations outside of the mother orgs.
Thank you. Other questions? Okay, cool. Go ahead with your 1 minute closing statement.
Okay, so I am a huge believer in providing equitable support. I believe equitable support is crucial to increasing retention and graduation rates. Chaz Gordon, who is a Bruin alum, said in a Daily Bruin article, it's essential to have spaces that cater to very specific underrepresented communities, given the lack of resources we face in society as a whole. This is something that I find especially true in consideration of implementing an increase of retention programs on campus for students from underrepresented communities specifically. Meeting these students where they are and providing individualized support is essential. Members of the same community will have different needs, and that's why I believe it's very important to serve with an equitable mindset instead of one that is solely based on equality. So if appointed, that is something that I would do moving forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so now let's hear our recommendations.
Our voted a 3-0-0 for Megan. If our statement reads, Megan has demonstrated great interest and passion in this position. She recognizes the need for more support towards retention projects, especially for transfer students, and is very excited to learn more about the other projects on campus from the wonderful other organizations. She has leadership, collaborative skills, and experience with this position, and with this said, ARC would like to recommend her with a 3-0 vote.
Thank you. Group deliberation period. I want to go for saying that I was talked about making a lot just through email. But also I really like what you said in your piece, in your important statement of meeting people where you are, because that's what I'm always about in making connections with students. So I really appreciate that, and I think you do well in the role. So thank you. Any other comments, concerns from council members? Evan.
Yeah, Megan, I just want to quickly just like appreciate how well done that interview was, just the amount of research that you put into this. I was very impressed. You're just very knowledgeable about the position and you seem to have great ideas. So I'm very confident that you'll be fantastic in this role.
Okay, and with that, can we have a motion?
I motion to appoint Megan Harmon for the Campus Retention Committee for a 1-year term.
Second.
All right, Evan motions, Megan seconds, all in favor, please raise your hand. Please lower your hands. All against, please raise your hands. All abstaining, please raise your hands. So a 12-0 vote, Megan, you are approved for the Campus Retention Committee. Moving on to our next appointment, we have the John Wooden Center Board of Governors. Oh, it's consent. Art, can we hear a statement?
ARC voted Stephen Michael Kenzo Price with a 3-0 vote for the JWC Board of Governors position. Our statement reads, Stephen is beyond eligible for this position, having served in this role for a year already. His experience with recreation administration and the facilities on campus makes him a great advocate for students. He recognizes the needs of students in regard to recreation and performs at UCLA at that end. And with this said, I would like to recommend Stephen with a 3-0 vote.
Thank you. Any opposition? Okay, with that, congratulations to Stephen for now being an appointment on our John Wooden Center Board of Governors. Go Stephen wherever you are. Oh my God. Oh, yeah. Okay, so, now we move to, finance committee vice chair. Stephanie, yeah. Okay. That's,
Oh, yeah.
go ahead with your 1-minute introduction statement whenever you're ready.
I'm ready. Hi everyone, I'm Bethany. I'm a second-year business economics major. I'm interested in finance and consulting, as well as being involved in UCLA. So last year I was a committee associate with USAC as well, on finance committee. And I think my passion for finance and serving the student body sets me apart from others. And being on the finance committee for USAC blends these two passions, being on USAC and then being in student government, and also my passion for finance. So I'd love to be a vice chair this year.
Thank you. Any questions? Yeah.
Yeah, if appointed, for the position on this committee, how will you, ensure financial transparency?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. I think last year we were really focused on financial transparency. And so we try to get the word out on the 3 weeks, like strict limit. Please like submit our request 3 weeks in advance, or else across the board, no matter who you are, we can't approve that, for example. And I think one thing that I noticed though, without that we didn't have transparency on, was our social media. We became sort of inactive. And so I think this year becoming more active on our social media is a good way for people to get to know like everything that's going on, as well as we'll continue to send out every week the funding, so everyone knows where all the allocations are going as well.
Thank you. Any other questions? Alicia?
Yeah, wait, why did you choose to come back, and why are you passionate about the work that ICOM does, especially for transparency?
Yeah, thank you for that question. I decided to come back because I loved it so much last year. I think just getting to see behind the scenes of how we grade forms and how we allocate funding. I think currently the transparent actions that we have, for example, is having a strict grading rubric. So every form, regardless of what club you are or who submits the funding form, is goes through a couple of questions, and then we rank these questions like 1 through 5. And then multiple people within finance committee look at it. So it's not just one person, so there's accountability. And so I think these measures really allow us to be transparent.
Thank you. Jean?
Hi, thank you for being here today. my question is, other than financial transparency on like the Instagram, what are other challenges that you think FICOM faces or a financial process at UCLA that you want to improve on?
Yeah, thank you for the question. I think, in terms of short-term changes that we could make, I think, yes, the Instagram, but also a lot of students, don't really see the 3-week policy, even though we have it on our forms. Before they can even submit a form, it literally says 3 weeks. But I think just overall, the more we implement this policy, the more we talk about it, every time student group doesn't abide with the 3-week policy, we make sure they understand why they didn't get funding. And so I think as the school year goes on, this will be something that is sort of automatically fixed as student groups reapply and then they remember last time we didn't get funding because it wasn't within the 3-week policy. In terms of long-term goals, I think expediting processes would be ideal. Right now we have like an Excel sheet that has everything and it's not the most streamlined process. And so I think as well as responding to emails, signing funding forms, I think finding a more expedited process, working with our team of 7 finance associates, that's something that we'll be working on this year as well.
Thank you. Okay, let's go ahead and hear one make closing statement.
Okay, thank you. I understand that the USAC Finance Committee handles finances of USAC, including analyzing, reviewing, and receiving budgets. And I understand that another responsibility is to process financial requests for clubs. As vice chair, I will make sure to that all the funds are spent within UCLA and USAC's financial policies. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, let's hear arts recommendations.
Art voted Bethany with a 3-0 vote, and our statement reads, through her application to interview, Bethany demonstrated great leadership and knowledge for the finance committee vice chair position. Being on the committee for the past year has given her the experience needed for a more responsible position, and she recognizes the improvements that FICOM could take. And with this said, Art would like to recommend Bethany with a 3-0 vote.
Thank you. Okay, brief deliberation period. Any comments, concerns that anybody would like to raise? Megan.
I will say, I see Bethany everywhere. She lives in the FICOM office. She's working.
Yeah, she should have been appointed already. Okay, so. Amazing. I've only had a brief conversation with Bethany, as well. I don't see her every day, but last week, and I agree with her. I think she'll be great in the role, especially with past experience as well. So I think she'll be an amazing vice chair. All right. Cool. Can I have a motion? Jonathan?
Motion to appoint Bethany Tong for the finance committee vice chair appointment for 1 year.
Is that?
All right, Jonathan motions, Katie seconds, all in favor, please raise your hand. Okay, please raise your hands. All against, please raise your hands. All abstaining, please raise your hands. All right, we'll go 10-0 vote. Bethany, you're now approved. Amazing, thank you. Okay, cool. See, Johnny, let's motion that out for you. See the motion to put the button back on. You need it. Oh, okay. That's fine. It's on the sheet. Okay, so we'll come back to that and like do business. Okay, while we do that, we're gonna go over our reports really quick. So yeah, yes.
I've been getting like corrections or like slight a lot of people's author reports. And it's always really hard to get everything you want me to do. So it makes it a lot easier for me if you write your report and link it.
I agree.
Sydney motions, Megan second.
Don't understand, like, please just do a written one and say verbally what you need to say.
Because I don't know a lot of people say things and I don't know how to write it. So.
Say what you want to say. Okay. Cool. Yep. There you go. He is trouble. Okay. Cool. Thank you. So I guess let's all have like written reports going forward. And so we can save Sydney trouble in trying to write down every single thing we said. Okay. I'll just send you and, but yeah. Bullet points anyway. So basically this week, today I went to the community program office open house. To speak with a few students and some of the project coordinators, so I will be scheduling meetings with them soon. Basically to follow up on some of the discussions we had a few weeks ago about CPL. We launched and closed our homecoming tailgate in ticket form today. So our tickets, 100 tickets sold out in about, it was like, I want to say the form was only up for like 2 hours. So that was pretty cool. So I had several meetings with Nick to discuss the tailgate, which will be in the fan zone, getting tables and seats reserved. We secured our DJ and food drinks as well. So that was amazing. Had had meetings with several other search committees that I sit on. We're in the process of scheduling interviews and going over applications for some open positions and kind of UCLA leadership. That was the one that I represented from the ASUCLA Alumni Board that I'll be sitting on. Our first official meeting will be in the next coming weeks on a Saturday. Amazing. So it'll be nice to interact with some of the previous USAC members, as well as some of them sit on the alumni board and just getting to meet other alumni and see how they can basically help us. So we also enjoyed the open office event, getting to talk more with Pamela. In addition, me and Evan attended our CFCC meeting, where we discussed student safety and what that looks like for some of the upcoming events that will be listed on campus. Had a discussion with the student body president at the University of Louisville about UCLA Safe Ride, because they're looking into doing something similar. Signed some hiring forms for some of the appointments that I made thus far. And connected with some of the more recent J board appointments to the Chief Justice and the other returning member, because there was no communication prior and they were struggling. Besides that, basically we had an all staff meeting last week that was very successful, being everyone gathered in one room. The directors are working on bringing the seat at the table initiative back, which we started today with SDPC search. And then I'll also be speaking at Parents Weekend this upcoming Friday. Okay, with that, we'll go ahead and move to you.
Megan. Okay, the appointment review committee conducted 8 interviews this past week, and we currently have none scheduled. So please, get in your applications for appointments. You will be getting an email from me about open appointments from Josh. Again, so please fill them ASAP and look for any scheduled interviews on the Slack. I attended the ASUCLA Executive Director and Student Union meet and greet last Friday. So that was fun. We're gonna follow up with them to create some more like programming events and hopefully some like social media posts to introduce what ASUCLA administration is like to the student body. We hosted my all staff meeting yesterday and my director's meeting as well. All the committee updates are on the written report. I won't say all of them, but if you would like to attend the next meeting, they are Mondays at 6 and 7 p.m. The next week we are doing the Halloween thing, so all council members are invited to that. Little costume contest, there'll be snacks and candy, and then maybe like a little like elementary school as like film night. I don't know, kind of copying back, but I will be going to his as well. Where you may get an email from me about some like social media posts to like approve them like through you. So please look out for that. We hired a new chief of staff. Her name is Neha Mandani. She is my current internship director, but she's been in the IVP office for 2 years. So I'd like to congratulate her and welcome her into a higher position on the executive team. I'm still working on a bunch of other projects with my executive team, including that resolution guide. And then if anyone has any like administrator contact sheets, please let me know. We're in the middle of recreating ours because ours is from 2019. We will be hosting our next all staff and directors meeting next Monday. I attended the Suburban Transit Corridor open house with Evan, Eva, and some of their people, Birds of Better Transit and ITE earlier today. And learned about new updates regarding the SAC project deadline. So thank you to Mona, Sherry, and Harmon from my office for coming. I will be attending the Narcan Task Force meeting tomorrow, I think. And there's also, I'd like to remind council about the entities meeting tomorrow at 12 p.m. So DSA bus, the agenda has been sent out through your email, so please look out for that and I'll be coming, so please come. I believe there are more updates. I think we haven't, I will be attending the monthly meeting with Michael Beck next Monday as well.
Okay, let's move to Eva.
Hi, everyone. Oh my God, that's loud. Okay, so we've been a bit busy. I guess I can go like team by team in the office with what they're doing. So for local relations, like Megan mentioned, we were at the LA Metro open house earlier tonight, and we've been really focusing on educating ourselves as an office about what UCLA campus life could look like in like 20 years or whatever, depending on what metro route they choose. So we prepared some talking points and a presentation for that in our office. So super exciting stuff. We are also meeting with SAGE, which is an environmental and sustainability organization, later tonight to talk about our mock EIR, kind of evaluating that. So super exciting stuff. Our state relations team is sending meeting invites out to meet with district offices in the LA area. Also, speaking of which, our assembly member, Rick Chavez Spur, will be at the North Coastal Neighborhood Council next Wednesday. So we'll be there. We're prepping questions and engagement with him on that as well. Otherwise, we're not scheduling any lobby meetings until after November 17th, unless the government dies, because the continuing resolution, keeping the government operating expires then. After that, we're planning on getting pretty active when it comes to lobbying. Our federal team has been absolutely killing it. I want to shout out Lauren for that. She's amazing. We have a lot of stuff coming in the pipeline. As I mentioned the past couple of weeks, our Congressman Ted Lieu is coming to UCLA November 8th at 1 p.m. And this will be not only a tour of some like resource centers on campus, which is such a struggle. But he also will be having a Q&A session. So we will be releasing like a Google form where individuals and campus organizations can submit one question to him that can potentially be chosen to be asked. So each of you are able to submit a question on behalf of your office/organization, and I encourage you to check that out when that's posted online, but I'll also just send it to y'all as well. So that's November 8th. Please mark it on your calendars, please, please, please. Also, we will be phone banking with the Bruin Dems November 3rd at 12 to support federal work study and student educational opportunity grants, both of which they're going to be cut from the federal budget, which again, they have until like November 17th to figure that out. They have not met. The two houses are really still disagreeing about this, but we're trying to phone bank to at least save them sort of as best we can. UCLA gets like $5 million annually in this federal financial aid, so it's really important. We'll be flying on Bruin Walk for that, so please help us out. We also have a lot of good stuff coming in the pipeline for civic engagement. We're submitting our brief to the county, outlining where we want some ballot drop-off boxes to be. So like the one in the middle of the road in Westwood Plaza is like badly placed. So we're proposing instead that one is on the sidewalk, and that one is near Ackerman, and that another one is in Deneb Plaza. So that's what we concluded. And so we're sending that to the county. We also are continuing our Bruins in Government series, which is interviews with UCLA alum who work in the government for like networking and stuff. So that's still going on Instagram. Please check that out. As for our student relations team, our GROWS application, our first cycle is due on Friday. So if you know any folks looking to organize their workplace, this is a grant just for them, and they should seriously apply to this first round of this like pretty historic grant. I'm not gonna lie. Ronan did an amazing job with that, so shout out. Also, our second round of bag applications are just got due, so we have our hearings this week, and we will be allocating more money next week. Lastly, that team is also preparing some Know Your Rights workshop events in support of, labor advocacy and, helping student workers. So that is in the pipeline for like week 7 or something like that. I'll also be attending the Narcan task force meeting tomorrow with Megan and Janice, super exciting. UC relations team at the UC Regents are meeting at UCLA November 14th through November 16th. So we will be hosting a public comment training to help people prepare comments to give to the UC Regents. And we'll again be presenting on the findings of that meeting. Also, we will have a couple resolutions to present to council in future weeks related to UCSA's campaign goals. So please keep an eye out for that. Very last thing, sorry, this is not in our written report. But so the UCOP had their budget consultation meeting about basic needs funding, and I just wanted to report some of those findings because I think this is a really good chance for us to advocate for this stuff. So they basically allocated money that each campus gets per the next fiscal year for mental health services. And UCLA gets a pretty solid amount of money that was really due to student advocacy. So that's why this is all really super important. And so while we know how much money UCLA is getting, it's now time for us to decide how we're going to spend these millions of dollars at our campus. And so there's a couple things in EVP we've kind of flagged. For example, UCOP is holding back $900,000 from UC wide, rather than dispersing it to campuses, and that is a little weird. We also don't know what the timeline is of when campuses have to spend this money. And this is really important specifically so we can ensure that student advocates and care caps centers and things like that are kind of being incorporated into those plans. We also do not know fully yet who at each campus is responsible for drafting the spending plans for each of the categories. That again, we know how much money, for example, is going to mental health, but we don't know what that means. And so we need to kind of figure out how to do that. And so there's kind of a lot going on there. And as we kind of navigate that in the EVP space, I'll follow up about it. Thank you.
So now we'll be moving forward with, oh my God, sorry, actually.
Hi, everyone. Just took my.
That microphone.
I was gonna say.
I can't hear you, Mike.
Oh, wait. Thank you. Is this working? Thank you. Most of my stuff's in the written report. I just wanted to say I really want to encourage everyone to come to the football game. I really love spirit of UCLA, especially in sports. And I went to the last game and it was really, really hot, but I did stay to the end and it was so fun because we won. So I'm really hoping that everyone comes to tailgate and everyone comes to the game and we can just really appreciate our awesome football program.
Thank you. All right. Now we'll move into.
Yeah, it's all written though.
Oh, amazing, Jonathan. Oh.
Thank you. Okay, wait, there we go. Lovely. I'm going to get violent with this microphone. Okay, I'm not gonna give all my info out, because I don't want, it's a lot. But you guys can see the platform work at least, that is on the weekly officer reports. But I am very excited to announce Bruin Buddies will be launching this week. That is, mine and Adam's collaboration. So for a reminder, Bruin Buddies is a program between GR3 and ISR to have a buddy program to support international exchange students with UCLA-based students so that they can have the best experience at UCLA as possible. So we're relaunching that this week. I'm very excited for that. My exec and I. My exec and I have reviewed the application and we're working with ISR to get that out this week. Again, we're very excited. I really want to thank my directors, and Adam and his team. So going on to executive work, now this is where it gets a little bit more important. I had multiple calls with Blanca Torres Murray, who's a senator from UC Berkeley's ASUC, to discuss the issues impacting Latinx students on both of our campuses and discuss ways to stay in solidarity with each other. This is very important because just to let you all know, Berkeley's Latinx resource center equivalent was changed to a temporary, and there's a lot of issues going on with that right now. You know, we obviously don't have one, but they are going through similar issues of trying to find a space for their community, which is roughly around 20-ish%, so a similar percentage to ours. So I just want to emphasize that because that is important. So I had a meeting with Alfred Herrera, who's a former admissions officer who served on the HSI task force, the predecessor to the HSI initiative. He discussed with me the work done before for HSI and kind of like what's been the history behind pushing for a Latinx resource center. My executive staff has been working on organizing meetings with Latinx student leaders to discuss their vision for HSI, the needs of the community on campus. I hope to start having those meetings next week. They're going to be very one-on-one, just to make sure that we are hearing out the needs of the Latinx community. My policy director has been working on a resolution calling for the establishment of a Latinx resource center on campus. This is important given the long withstanding history of the Latinx community on campus since before the founding of the university, may I remind. I hope to present a finalized version within the next few weeks, so I will be in touch regarding that. To a lighter note, internships. So internship decisions for the GR offices are out. I'm very excited for this initiative, and I hope to get these students more involved with the USAC through this program. We should be starting programming this week or next. And ARC, like always, shout out to Megan and Sarah. Thank you.
Okay, so John.
Yeah, so I do have a written report, but I guess I'll just highlight a few things. One thing is that we were able to launch our internship, and that's kind of exciting because we are taking like a new approach this year and trying to also help interns with professional development. I'm part of like a pre-law professional fraternity, shout out Kathy. So I feel like one thing that really benefited me taking that work was the professional development help. So I thought that'd be like something good to help boost the internship program. Besides that, we're also able to onboard our Gen staff members. Something that is really exciting and I guess is also important to share for financial transparency is that there was like a previous, I think, mistake where the travel grant mini fund funds from the social justice referendum weren't allocated to the AAC budget. So we were able to like recover that money, which is $34,056. I mean, Sorry, I don't know why. My brain just had a brain fart, but $34,000, and that there's an additional $10,500 in the budget. This money is going to be spent primarily on programming, but the remaining money will be distributed to office staff compensation and marketing commission activities. On that note, with funding, I will be able to add that item for the new business for the travel grant mini fund allocations. Midterm stress relief week is also happening next week, so that's really exciting, and there'll be something every day. And besides that, the other I think big thing is the launch of or kind of the beginning of the planning of the libraries. And so one thing that I kind of want to focus on really accomplishing this year is being able to establish libraries around campus. And I think that will really do a lot for kind of improving campus connection and it'll be, I think, an area where it can develop a lot, curating different book collections, kind of boosting campus art and the like. So that's my main.
Lisa.
Okay, hey everyone, all my updates are on the thing, but I'll try to just say like the highlights. Upcoming events are kind of upcoming. One was happening right now. We have an All Dirt Roads Taste of Salt screening. It's a A24 movie, so that's really exciting. Wish I could see it. The craft screenings for Halloween is next week on Monday, and that'll be on Westcom Terrace at 7 p.m. And then also next week, we have a Saltburn screening on Wednesday, November 1st at 7:30, and that's at the Landmark in Westwood. And that'll be, I think, our second screening at the Landmark in Westwood, so we're really excited about that. And then we have a comedy event coming up week 6 on Monday. It'll be in Kirkhoff Grand Salon. We're gonna announce the comedian hopefully soon. And a couple other things, we're ordering merch right now and we're working with Golden Voice again this year to collaborate on concert ticket giveaways for students. So follow us on Instagram if you want to be a part of that. And lastly, our media production and like photography team is hiring and those applications are due on Friday.
Thank you. All right. Chi.
Hi, okay, so most of my updates are also in the written report, but I'll just highlight 2 things. So last Wednesday during the CSE staff meeting, being inspired by Sujana, we also had a discussion on the ongoing violence in Israel Palestine and what CSE can do as a commission with a commitment to represent our diverse student body, support disenfranchised communities, and also encourage student interest and care for community issues. So a small team of our staff spent the last week researching, consulting students from both communities to create an Instagram post and an educational resource bank about the issue. So the intention was really to raise awareness about the ongoing humanitarian crisis in Gaza, provide avenues for students to protect the lives of innocent civilians, empower students to educate themselves on the underlying history leading to recent developments so that they can engage in constructive dialogue and support just long-term solutions. Rallying students to take a stand against rising Islamophobia and anti-Semitism on campus, and lastly to share UCLU resources to provide support to Bruins going through a very difficult time. So if any of you have any feedback or criticisms or resources that you want to add to the resource bank, please let me know. I have attached both links on my officer reports. The second big thing I want to highlight is that this is a desperate plea for your help, especially the appointment search committee to help publicize the appointment for the budget review director. So the funding applications for the USA BOD fund for fall closed yesterday. And these 2 weeks are actually, the time where we're supposed to collate, review, communicate with the groups, organize hearings and allocations. And unfortunately, because we don't have the director and the assistant director, so 3 of us in the budget review committee and the FICOM chair will be holding the fort down. But yeah, so we hope that we can get appointments soon so that they can help to lead the effort moving forward. And I sent a blurb in the USAC Slack, and I am also working on a graphic so that you guys can also share it with your networks. And yeah, the rest of my updates are in the report. Thanks.
Thank you. Okay. Alicia? Okay. Evan.
I'll try to keep it quick. The first upcoming event that we have is the SDC for All Ambassador Program. That's the Sepulveda Transit Corridor. They're gonna have their first informational meeting next Monday. That's the 30th at 5 p.m. I have a link for RSVPs if any of you guys are interested in my officer updates. Also, just a reminder for everyone, the second round of TGIF funding is due this Friday, that's 27th at midnight. Again, everything's linked on the officer reports. We met with the local relations team for government community relations to finalize some of our plans for the STC for All Ambassador program. We're gonna have a couple of exciting special guests, so highly encourage you guys if you're able to make it out to that. Kind of already talked about in the meeting with the DSU, Student Wellness Commission and Academic Affairs Commission. We met with administrators from the Ash Center to discuss next steps to replace COVID-19 signage. We're going to continue moving forward with creating prototypes and then coordinating with the strategic communications for a finalized product. FAC, Institute of Transportation Engineers, and then both IVP and EVP were in attendance today at Metro's Global Transit Corridor Open House. We had a really big show out, so I really just want to appreciate everybody who was able to make it. Couple of just quick updates from the presentations that we received. Nothing too surprising, but we did get finalized times on what the two alternatives would look like. So if you're going to be going with the monorail alternative, it's about 18 minutes end to end, or sorry, 32 minutes end to end versus a heavy rail is 18 minutes end to end. So you're looking at about half the time. Then also for the projected ridership for heavy rail, it would be around 120,000 weekly riders going on that line versus if it was a monorail, it's around 60,000. So again, the choice seems very obvious, yet that does not seem to be the choice that Metro is going to be making. We also had a meeting with Liz Kennedy, that's the Director of Ethical Labor and Sustainability for UCLA Trademarks and Licensing. We discussed a variety of topics, but it really centered on expanding the reusable diningware program. But before we do that, we just got to have high utilization. So the next time that you guys are in Kirkhoff, highly encourage you guys to check out a reusable mug. Not only are you saving some money, if you do it 10 times, you get a free pastry and you're saving the environment. Had quite a few different committee meetings that happened for the first time this week. First one was John Wooden Center Board of Governors. You'll be hearing more about that, especially regarding the seismic retrofit fee from me later, so I'll save that. Also, like Naomi said, we met with the Campus Facilities Coordinating Commission, also met with the Campus Bike Advisory Committee. We talked about a lot of different topics, but the biggest one was about Westwood Connected and moving forward with their support on that. We also got a presentation from the LA Department of Transportation about their proposals for Santa Monica Boulevard Bike Lane. TGIF committee held 4 different committees this week for a variety of projects. Most of them are focused on engineering. As TGIF committee, we're continuing to try and function more as a consulting body and not just a funding body. So we're going to continue to have these hearings and just really understand these projects and further offer ideas about how to incorporate sustainability. And yeah, that's all the updates I got.
Thank you. Okay, let's go to Sarah Proxy. Going once, going twice. No. Okay, so we will be moving to Janice.
Hi everyone, I just have written updates today. I think a lot of it overlapped with what Evan said.
Thank you. Okay, let's go to Tara. Going once, going twice. Sold. Okay, so now we'll be moving to Adam.
Hey everyone, sorry, I have a very sore throat. I'm gonna keep it really short. We're launching Bruin Buddies this week. We're still working on our dining program. We have some bumps with marketing with UCLA dining, but that should launch very soon. We're working on some sort of collaboration / program with Period. It's in its early stages, but we're planning something with them. My office table at the TSR Marginalized Transfer Resource event. I attended the Vigil for Palestine yesterday, and I encourage everyone to attend the walkout tomorrow. And we're still hiring general staff. We have high priority to our marketing staff, which we're trying to fill out the staff. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so now we're moving forward with admin. Let's see. No Orlando. Oh, sounds good. My bad. Orlando. Oh. Thank you. I'll update for Orlando as well, but make sure y'all as signatories on your respective offices do your training, even if it's a 24/7 available one. If you fail the test, you still pass. Okay, amazing. Moving forward. Jessica. Oh, Tara, question.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes, now we can.
I think I got skipped for reports.
We called your name, but I didn't hear a response, so go ahead now.
Oh, okay. Well, Transfer Pride Week went really well. Thank you to everyone who showed support. It was off to a bit of a rough start at first, but I'm happy that it came out really well. We got a lot of positive feedback from the community, which is my favorite part. Now I'm tired as hell though, but it's all good. I went to Unika's art therapy night today. That was really cool. We took that space to talk about our collab, which will be happening next week. The event kind of has merged, or not merged, it's kind of evolved to be something to happen over Zoom. And then we'll try to do some in-person options throughout the quarter for students who are Central American, or like Central American adjacent, if that makes sense. We also are collabing with the Academic Affairs Commissioner for our Sanrio Social next week for De-Stress Week. If y'all know nothing about me, I really like Sanrio. It's a part of my personality at this point. So I'm really excited for that. Shout out to Jana. And then on Monday, we're supposed to have a Halloween social at the Holly NPR in collaboration with Res Life. So I'm really excited for that too. We're gonna be watching a scary movie, painting little pumpkins, probably getting like those like Halloween cookies and like pumpkin flavored desserts. And then I think my directors are trying to organize like a costume contest. So that's something to look forward to. And then later this quarter, I think we're also going to like finalize a collab with IVP to have like a professional development conference in Tijuana. I'm trying to think, damn, my brain is fried. Oh yeah. And then I also met with the Transfer Center and other transfer stakeholders today to talk about the state of our respective like departments and like student organizations and how we want to move forward for the year. Some things we specifically talked about is running a referendum for transfer student needs to make sure that after this year, transfers are not down bad financially and that everybody eats. And then we also talked about starting some kind of internship or collaborating on the internship that I was talking about to get more transfer students involved in USAC and running for these positions so that there's not just one transfer student on the council any longer. I think that's pretty much it. More to come, but yeah.
Thank you. Moving to Jessica.
Hello, all. Oh, there I am. Hi. Just a couple quick programming updates for you all that I wanted to share. First, we have a Wellness Wednesday program coming up tomorrow. It's friendship bracelet making, should be fun in the fun zone. We also have next week, we're planning a spooktacular in the Union Halloween themed program that'll be going on most of the afternoon. So look out for trick-or-treating throughout the Student Union and Ackerman and Kirkhoff. We'll also be doing pumpkin carving and some other activities in the fun zone as well, and a spooky haunted house setup. So I believe Mary has reached out to I think you, Naomi, and maybe a couple other folks to see about getting some spaces in Kirkhoff to be candy locations. We're also reaching out to all of the student resource centers on the first floor of Kirkhoff to try to, spread everybody around the student union. But, we'll be sharing more information about that. And if you're interested, any of your offices are interested in doing a pumpkin or decorating a pumpkin, also feel free to reach out to myself or Mary and we will get you connected with that. So that's it for me.
Thank you. Okay, now moving to Lori.
I actually have updates, which is exciting. Well, not really updates, but questions. So I'll start with Sujana. Can I send you the EOL for stress less spaces? Okay. And I have Mick DeLuca's assistant hunting down the owners of the books in the conference room. Random. I met with Bruin Consent Coalition about their walk in November at Drake to make plans and get them a cost estimate. Study nights, Evan, the EOL should be going to you. Recreation Leadership Council is going to help partner this time around with Facilities Commission. They, Evan, are working on all drink donations and possibly some snacks. And then they can probably staff one of the nights as well. So your staff doesn't have to be there all 3 nights. Those are Monday through Wednesday, the week of finals in Poly. And do you want to hang your banner on the fence again?
Yes, we would love to hang our banner on the fence again.
And then for Chia Ying, Savannah or
Cindy maybe or have reached out to you. Our Recreation Leadership Council is looking to see what kind of volunteer situations they can get into through CSC this year. And then Alicia and Mason, I don't know if you were told, but Recreation Event Fund has awarded you $2,500 towards Broom Batch. The invoice is the never-ending battle on my desk. It will come this quarter, I swear. And then is it possible for your commissions to share a couple photos with me? Perfect. And then other than that, first basketball game, men's game is next week on Halloween. If you're there, come visit me in my office, Polly 289. And then if you're at the football game, I'll be at 10:11. That's it.
Thank you. Okay, jump in.
Hey, hello. No one? Okay. Good to see you as well. It's Tuesday. Some things on my end. If you are Gen Rep 1, Gen Rep 2, Cultural Affairs, Financial Supports, International Student, or Transfer Student Rep, you have not had your mirror trainings yet. And I know that Jack has reached out at least 3 times. Please respond. It would be very much appreciated. And these are really helpful for your staff as well. Really helps reduce the administrative load when we have to get questions over and over and over again. It's better for us to just tell you all now, so you know what to do, and it makes it easier for everyone. Another little response I'm requesting from all of you is you should have gotten an email from Emily Gomez. She's our student union admin assistant. So she works kind of in our department division, but she's primarily Pamela's assistant. So Pamela wants to hold that open office once a month for you all, just so that she can make herself available for your needs and your questions and your time. So we're just looking for like what is generally best for you in terms of like when you could attend. So when you respond to that doodle, think of it like as a general week, not that specific week. Like when is best for you, and then we're gonna book them for the weeks or months going forward based off of that. If you don't respond, then I guess you just don't get a say when we have them. And that's sad. Next is I've been working with the CalFresh initiative at UCLA. In case you didn't know, we do accept CalFresh in the store. But a new service that we are offering is for housing insecure students on CalFresh that don't have a stable mailing address. They can now use our office as their mailing address. We worked with the CalFresh County and state to do this. So that we will, same way that when we get your mail, we send you a little email, come pick it up at the window. Same deal. So if you are on CalFresh or you know someone that has CalFresh and they need a more stable mailing address, Ackerman is it, A262G. Any more questions about that, let me know. Not next week, but the week after, a couple of your BOD members are going to come and give a special presentation. And then we have another couple coming in the beginning of December. So start thinking now of what questions and things you want to hear from them. If there's anything specific you want to hear from them that you want me to relay prior to that meeting, please let me know now. And I will remind you to put that on your agenda the week before. Jessica already talked about it, but I promised Marisa that I would also talk about it. Spooktacular in the union next week. You are all welcome to participate. If you want to like do a pumpkin, first place wins a $100 gift certificate to ASUCLA Catering for an office lunch, and second place wins an office snack basket. So there's incentive there if you'd like to participate. Trick or treating, they'll give you a starter bowl of candy and treats. So you know.
Can I get an ASUCLA shirt for my coffee?
Yeah, you go for office bar uniform. And then there will also be the fun scary zone in the fun zone with mini pumpkin painting and seasonal snacks and games on the 30th on Halloween from 12 to 3. Again, questions, hit up Mary or any one of us, you know where to find us. And then last but not least, this one I thought you guys would really like. Marisa, also let me know.
that if you are having an event in the Union, so in Ackerman or Kirkhoff, you can get a free digital flyer poster on all of the screens throughout Ackerman and Kirkhoff for 7 days prior to your event date. If your event is at a different location that is not in the Union, it's $6 a day, or $30 a week. I'll send the website, I'll send all the stuff in Slack after so you have access to it. But you need to submit it a week prior to when it starts. So 2 weeks before your event, you need to submit your flyer. And then a week starting, you'll get 7 free days of advertising in the Union. I thought that was pretty cool. All right. Good week. Bye.
Thanks. Okay. So. Okay, now you.
Oh, okay. I motion to add my program and fund allocation.
Second. Who said that? Maybe. All right, so now motion is second, all fair, this is your hand. Please raise your hands. All against, please raise your hands. All same, please raise your hands. So that's 0-0, that's approved. So now we will hear from Sujana on whatever grade he said.
For week is that $3,255 were allocated to 5 entities, 2 of those being student groups and company. No.
Oh.
Okay, it's 5.
Okay. I don't have the numbers.
3,000.
3,255.
If you Slack them to me, I can put them in the chat.
Amazing. So can I get a motion for that, preferably from you, because you have the numbers in front of you. Right?
Oh, right, I need to approve the TGF allocation of $3,255 to biohouses.
Second.
Oh my God. Okay, so general motion's got me seconds, all fair, please. Raise your hand.
Wait, it's a consent item.
Any opposition? No opposition? Oh my God, it's approved. Okay. So you'll sign that, then we'll get that, and by default, Cindy will get that, correct? Oh. Okay. Cool. Oh, new business. Evan, discussion on seismic retrofit fee. Do you have a mic?
Yeah, somebody wants to.
Maybe.
Hi. Hey, hi, hello. Sorry, not to come for your brand, Jonathan. Okay, I'm gonna keep this as quick as physically possible because I know we're all hungry and tired, but this was something that Mick DeLuca and the John Wooden Board of Governors wanted us to deliver to USAC. And it's just information about the seismic retrofit student fee that we all do pay. Just to give you guys a little bit of background, and this is basically what this sheet is just background on the funds and how the fees have been spent in the past. So this was something that was approved in 1992 by the UC Regents. So this is a weird fee in the sense that it's not approved by student voters, it's approved by like the higher up powers. And they basically like had put the fee onto us, but for valid reasons, because we obviously don't want to be in a building that is seismically unfit. But this student seismic fee will sunset at the end of 2025. Below that, there's a table that you guys can all look at that has all of the previous projects from 1997 to now that have been funded using this fee, including 2 that are currently ongoing. That's the UCLA Marina Aquatic Center and then the Ash Center as well. Safety improvements were also identified in these following buildings that are listed below. So the John Wooden Center is currently rated as seismic level 6. Sunset Recreation replacement building that's currently rated as a seismic level 7. And I know that somebody from SBAC had talked about it previously, but that is a range from 1 to 7, as in 7 being the most seismically like risky and dangerous. So we have buildings that are quite literally on this campus that are a 7. Looking at some other things too, like Ackerman Union and Kirkhoff Hall are both F5s, which means that, just over time, we do need to be expecting that they will have to have some sort of work done to them to keep them, in compliance with the city and county codes. Yeah, just some more information about different things, how the fees been used and extending the fee to 2025. All about like the debt payments and everything. If that's something that you guys really want me to explain, I'm more than happy to. But like I said, it's all kind of in that document. Definitely not an expert in this by any means, but at least did a little bit of research. I'm happy to answer any questions if anybody has it. What the John Wooden City Board of Governors and what the UCLA administration kind of wants for us is that despite the fact that this is going to be, you know, kind of forced onto us regardless of whether or not we want it or not from the UC Regents and from the UC Office of the President. They do want to see that there is like student consent and student, like, I guess, support for the fee to continue. And again, it's just like, at least in my mind, how I'm thinking about it is like one way or another, we have to make sure that our buildings are seismically sound. And it's either going to come from a student fee that we're going to pay. And if we do pay those student fees, you know, at the end of the day, there is a certain level of control that students have over that. If you don't pay that student fee, that money is probably just going to come out of your tuition increase. You're paying it either way. I feel like if we do it this way, at least students do have some control and they have some voice about how the money's being used. Also, I will say this was a question that I asked, is that there is no ability to use the student seismic fee for anything outside of seismic retrofits either. So you can't, like, if there's any surplus or anything like that, you can't just like toss it towards, you know, whatever it is. So it is all restricted for that particular purpose. Any questions I can help answer?
I have a question.
Please, Naomi.
How much is it increasing? 5? Like, yeah.
I don't think, is it increasing more?
It is not increasing in the next couple of years, but there is a plan to write it for admission.
So that would just be like a thing that students vote on the ballot that year, or is it set at the? Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah, but the fee itself will be the same, just indexed as CPI. Yeah.
Got it. Alicia.
Can you like clarify one more time, sorry, like what it means, what the levels are, or like is one the best?
Yeah, so it's a scale from 1 to 7. 7 as in like you cannot be in that building, like you are actually like not allowed to be there. So that's why like currently if you go up to Sunset Canyon Recreation, that building is like fenced off, like you can't go into it. They have like a little replacement module and they're just like completely demolishing it and replacing it. So looking at the scale from like 1 to 7, if you look at any of those buildings, like even for me, like at a 5, like it's a little concerning. So inevitably these things are going to happen in the future. And then also like, I guess part of it too, is just as like the city, the county and the state do kind of tighten some of their seismic laws, that's part of the reason why we also are getting, it's like the combination of the city and the state laws are getting a little bit, you know, stronger, making sure that we're all safe. And then on the flip side of that too, these buildings are just aging, they're old.
Any other questions? One more question for you.
Yeah.
Does the John Wooden name, council name, do they have an Instagram? Is something that they would publish like the information on? Or should it come from us or you or
So is that just specifically about the student fee itself or the projects that are going to be happening?
Just transparency if they wanted us to like get student consent, but it's not really student.
No, I know, this is kind of a weird ask. It's like it's student consent adjacent. Yeah, no, to my knowledge, I don't think the John Wooden Center Board of Governors does have any sort of Instagram or social media. I would wonder, maybe we could work and reach out to UCLA Recreation and make like a combined post between FAC and us.
I asked here.
Yeah.
Probably also limiting installation.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah, but I'm happy to have this conversation. I think it's a good point that we definitely want to make sure that students know that this is a thing.
So yeah, I think that'd be good. Awesome. Thank you so much, Evan. Appreciate it. Okay. And that's it. Okay. At 8:56 p.m. I'll see y'all in 2.